Welcome back to my channel Celeb Buzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates.
She was a smile that lit up a decade, and now that light has gone out. Loni Anderson, the golden-haired star who redefined the sitcom siren and stole hearts across America, has died at 79. It's a sentence that doesn't seem real, because some people feel eternal. But on a quiet Sunday in Los Angeles, surrounded by her family, Loni Anderson's story came to its final chapter. An acute, prolonged illness took her, but it couldn't dim her legacy. Her publicist confirmed it. And her family, brokenhearted, shared the truth no one wanted to hear. We have lost our dear wife, mother, and grandmother. The woman the world knew as Jennifer Marlowe, the smart, sharp, and stunning receptionist from WKRP in Cincinnati, is no longer with us. But to truly feel the weight of this loss, we have to go back to the beginning, back to St. Paul, Minnesota, where a little girl with big eyes and bigger dreams watched the world through black and white television screens, and knew someday she'd be on the other side. She wasn't born into fame. She earned every inch of it. She worked in community theater. She waited tables. She raised her daughter as a single mom while chasing an impossible dream. In 1975, Loni packed her bags and moved to Los Angeles. 2 weeks later, she booked SWAT, and the spark had been lit. It didn't take long before she was appearing on Three's Company, The Incredible Hulk, and Love Boat. Hollywood was beginning to notice. But Loni wasn't looking to play just another pretty face. She refused to be a punchline in someone else's script. When the creator of WKRP in Cincinnati, Hugh Wilson, approached her with the role of the bubbly receptionist, she said no, unless it could be rewritten. She wanted her character to be sexy, yes, but also the smartest person in the room. Wilson agreed. And with that, Jennifer Marlowe was born, a character who would shatter stereotypes and earn Loni Anderson Emmy and Golden Globe nominations, not for playing dumb, but for daring to play smart and beautiful at the same time. From 1978 to 1982, she ruled Thursday nights. America fell in love, and so did one of Hollywood's biggest stars. In 1982, Loni co-starred in Stroker Ace alongside Burt Reynolds. The chemistry was electric. Their love, a media firestorm. They married. They adopted their son, Quentin. But fame and love don't always mix well. The cameras never blink. And under that pressure, things broke. Their divorce made headlines. But behind it all, Loni was just a woman, trying to find peace in the noise. She wrote it all down in her best-selling memoir, My Life in High Heels, laying bare the glamour, the heartbreak, the struggle to be seen for more than her looks. She never stopped working. Over the decades, she appeared in more than 6 TV series, 7 feature films, 19 TV movies, and even at 78, she co-starred in Ladies of the 80s, A Diva's Christmas, alongside fellow legends like Linda Gray and Morgan Fairchild. Behind the scenes, away from the flashing lights and magazine covers, Loni Anderson found something that eluded her for years. Peace and love. Not the kind of love written into scripts or snapped on red carpets. A quieter kind. A kind that grows slowly, gently, like roots finding home in the soil. His name was Bob Flick, a founding member of the 1960s folk group The Brothers Four. They met at a movie premiere in Minneapolis decades ago. Just a brief moment, a flicker, then life happened, as it always does. Fame, family, divorce, heartbreak, success, reinvention. But some stories don't end with goodbye. Some stories circle back. Years later, after all the storms had passed, Loni and Bob found each other again. This time, they held on. They married in 2008. No headlines, no spectacle. Just 2 people choosing each other, finally, in a world that so often tears things apart. For Loni, it was a full circle moment. Proof that sometimes life gives you a second chance at happiness. And this time, she wasn't letting go. To those who knew her intimately, beyond the screen and the spotlight, Loni Anderson was more than the blonde bombshell America admired. She was the ultimate working mother, graceful under pressure, unshakable in love, unrelenting in purpose. She juggled lines in lunchboxes, red carpets, and report cards. She didn't just talk about balance. She lived it. And in between all that, she never forgot to laugh. Her longtime manager of 30 years, Steve Sauer, said it best. Loni was a class act. Beautiful, talented, witty, always a joy to be around. She was the ultimate working mother and maintained a great balance with her career. She and I had wonderful adventures together that I shall forever cherish. I will especially miss that infectious chuckle of hers. It was a laugh that turned heads in a room, that broke tension on set, that reminded everyone that even in a world obsessed with perfection, joy, pure, unfiltered joy, was still possible. But now, that laugh is a memory, a sound frozen in time, a warm echo fading gently into the silence she's left behind. It's in those silences that the grief begins to settle, like dust on an old photograph. Loni Anderson is survived by those who loved her most. Her beloved husband Bob, her daughter Deidre and son-in-law Charlie, her son Quentin, whom she adopted with Burt Reynolds, her grandchildren Mackenzie and Megan, her stepson Adam Flick, his wife Aline, and their children Felix and Maximilian. Each of them carries a piece of her. Each of them will tell stories of holidays and hugs, of backstage visits and bedtime kisses, of a woman who never let fame harden her heart. And then there are the millions who never met her, but still feel like they knew her. Fans who watched WKRP in Cincinnati, not just for the laughs, but because Jennifer Marlowe made them feel seen. Because Loni wasn't just acting. She was inhabiting something deeper. She took a role that could have been another forgettable cliché and transformed it into a symbol. A beautiful woman who was also the smartest person in the room, who was respected, admired, never underestimated. She gave permission to a generation of women to be everything, to be funny and powerful, kind and commanding, feminine and formidable. Loni Anderson wasn't just a star. She was a reminder that you could walk into a room and own it, in high heels and high standards. That glamour didn't have to be empty. That beauty and brains weren't opposites. They were allies. Over the course of her career, she embodied that truth again and again. 6 TV series, 7 feature films, 19 TV movies, 2 miniseries, and even in her final year, a role in Ladies of the 80s, A Diva's Christmas, proving once again that grace never fades. She never stopped showing up. She never stopped being. Until, quietly, she was gone. An acute, prolonged illness took her on a quiet Sunday, a day meant for rest, for peace, and somehow that felt right. Because Loni Anderson didn't leave in chaos. She left the way she lived, surrounded by those who loved her, gently, gracefully, fully. She didn't pass alone. Her family was there, holding her hands, whispering stories, sharing memories only they knew, the laughter, the tears, the quiet strength behind a curtain of a star's life. There was no spotlight in that room, no audience, just love, real, raw, eternal love. And with that love came closure, not the kind that ends a story, but the kind that lets it rest, that says, you did enough, that says, you were enough, that says, you will always be loved. And now, the world feels different. You can't quite name it, but you feel it. A shift, a silence, like something golden has gone missing. And we're all just now realizing how much we lean on its light. Hollywood, that glittering world of dreams and illusions, has grown a little dimmer, as if the city itself has lowered its lights in mourning, as if the stars above are bowing to one of their own. Because Loni Anderson wasn't just famous. She was formative. She changed the temperature of every room she walked into, not with noise, not with ego, but with presence, with poise. And even now, even in her absence, that presence lingers. Maybe, just maybe, if you listen closely, you'll still hear her laugh. Not in the loudness of the world, but in its quiet corners. In an old rerun flickering late at night, when the house is still. In the soft echo of Jennifer Marlowe's voice, quick, clever, commanding, reminding us all that beauty and brains are not contradictions. You might catch it in a magazine photo from decades ago, or in the way a new generation of actresses refuses to be boxed in, typecast, or written off. And if you do, know this, Loni paved that road. She didn't just walk it, she built it. In heels, with grace, with grit, because that's what legends do. They don't just leave memories. They leave blueprints. They show us how to stand taller, how to speak louder, how to live bolder. Even when the world asks us to shrink, they don't disappear. They dissolve into the culture, into the art, into the quiet revolution of change they helped ignite. They become part of the air we breathe, the stories we tell, the beauty we refuse to forget. Loni Anderson didn't just play characters. She didn't coast through scenes. She didn't show up just for the camera. She embodied something bigger, a new kind of femininity, one that refused to be simplified, one that could be radiant and real, vulnerable and powerful, all at once. She changed the way we saw women on screen, and in doing so, she helped change the way women saw themselves. She didn't just act. She inspired. With every role, every interview, every red carpet appearance where she stood with confidence instead of apology, she was showing the world what was possible. That you could be glamorous and grounded. That you could be a sex symbol and a symbol of substance. That you could rise, not in spite of who you are, but because of it. She didn't just shine. She blazed. Through a male-dominated industry. Through stereotypes. Through personal heartbreaks and professional hurdles. She lit the way forward and never asked for permission to do so. And now, as we stand in the afterglow of her life, we don't mourn the end of her story. We honor the power of it. Because Loni's story isn't a sad one. It's a strong one. It's the story of a woman who made her mark, who faced the spotlight in the shadows with the same steady strength, who knew when to speak, when to fight, when to walk away, and when to come back stronger. We hold her laughter in our hearts. That high, musical laugh that could lift a room. We hold her legacy in our hands. Not like a fragile thing, but like a torch. And we carry her light into every role that breaks the mold. Every woman who refuses to play small. Every moment where grace meets grit. Her light isn't gone. It's glowing in every room she ever brightened, on or off screen. It's woven into the fabric of television history. It's in every laugh track she outshined. In every line she delivered like truth disguised as comedy. In every viewer who felt a little more seen because she was, rest in power, Loni. You were more than a star. You were a force. And the sky is brighter because you're part of it now. If this tribute moved you, if Loni's life left a mark on yours, let it be known. Like this video. Subscribe to Celeb Buzz for more stories that deserve to be remembered. And in the comments, share your favorite Loni moment. A scene, a smile, a memory. Let's celebrate her the way she lived, beautifully and boldly.